my parents demanded to move into my new home, I refused. Now they're saying I owe them for my entire life and the whole family is against me. I, 34 male, recently bought my first home after years of hard work and saving. It's a modest but beautiful house in a quiet neighborhood, and I'm incredibly proud of achieving this milestone. My parents, both in their late 60s, currently live in a rented apartment, and while they're not struggling financially, they've expressed concerns about retirement and wanting a more stable living arrangement. After I announced my house purchase, they approached me with the idea of moving in with me. They said it would give them a chance to downsize, save money, and spend more time with me. While I love my parents and respect everything they've done for me, I was honest and told them that I wanted this house to be my personal space. I've lived with them most of my life, and I was looking forward to having my independence. They didn't take it well. They accused me of being ungrateful, reminding me that they sacrificed a lot to support me through college and early adulthood. They even suggested that I owe it to them to give back now that I'm in a better financial position. Some extended family members also chimed in saying I should honor my parents by letting them live with me. I tried explaining that while I'm happy to help them in other ways, like assisting with rent or finding a better place for them, I'm not ready to share my home. It's not about them personally. It's about finally having a space that's mine. Despite this, they continue to pressure me, and now I'm starting to feel like I might actually be selfish for saying no. So am I the idiot for refusing to let my parents move into my new house? Not the idiot. The minute you allow them into your home, they will try to go back to the parent-child relationship, try to control every aspect and have no respect for you. Don't do it. Save your sanity. Definitely this. They will take over everything. Your friends are too loud. Why are they here again? We don't like your groceries. Can you drive me to the mall? Why are you going out? Again. There will be seriously warm places in your sofa for men watching their shows. It will be a nightmare and they will never leave. They should be proud of you for buying your own house, not trying to hijack your independence and home. Don't be silly. Opie won't have a sofa. The house will be full of his parents' furniture. How dare you not accept their 30-plus-year broken, stained, scratched, crappy-looking oak furniture they bought before you were born. And I'm sure they'll take the master bedroom. There's 2 of them, so they need it more. Or worse, bring a date home to spend the night. That tramp walked into the kitchen this morning wearing your t-shirt, and your father saw her nipples. There's nothing that would get me to let my parents move in with me. It's interesting that OP offered to help his parents in other significant ways, but they want that house. There's more going on behind the scenes here that we cannot see. They aren't planning on visiting. They're planning on staying. Parents who guilt-trip their kids into doing things against their best interests tend to be the kind who don't respect your boundaries. Give them an inch, and they will take a mile as a truism for a reason. I, 18 female, live with my mom, 42, and my little brother, toddler. My dad passed away a few years ago, so it's just the 3 of us. Since then, my mom has had to work a lot to keep us afloat, and I've always tried to help out when I can. Cooking dinner, watching my brother, cleaning, etc. I didn't mind because I know she's doing her best. And I love my last weekend. My mom told me I couldn't go to my best friend's birthday party because she needed me to babysit. This wasn't the first time plans got canceled last minute because of babysitting. So I was frustrated and told her I've been looking forward to this for weeks. She said, too bad, family comes first. So I ended up staying home, but I was upset and made it clear I wasn't happy about it. I still watched my brother and did everything I was supposed to, but I was kind of short with her for the next couple of days. Fast forward to this week, I got invited to hang out with friends after school. My mom said no because I was being disrespectful last weekend. She grounded me and told me I needed an attitude adjustment. Now here's where it gets messy. Yesterday, my mom said she needed me to babysit again because her work schedule changed. I said no. I said, if I'm grounded, then I shouldn't be trusted with babysitting either. She got really mad and said I was being selfish. She argued that watching my brother isn't a punishment. It's a responsibility and I can't just pick and choose when to help out. I told her I feel like I'm being treated like a second parent, and I'm tired of always having to drop everything for her. She told me that's what family does and accused me of being ungrateful for everything she's done for me. Now she's barely talking to me, and I feel like the worst sister and daughter ever. My friends say I'm not wrong for standing up for myself, but my mom thinks I'm a brat. I get that she's under a lot of pressure, but I feel like I deserve to have some independence. So am I the idiot for refusing to babysit after getting grounded? Not the idiot. If she wants you to co-parent, then she can't ground you. Either you're her kid and she has authority over you, but also responsibilities to you, or you are her co-parent, and she has no authority over you, and you both share responsibility for your brother. She's trying to have it both ways. Op is literally an adult now. If she moves out, then mom is screwed. She accused me of being ungrateful for everything she's done for me. I hate this line. You didn't ask to be born. Having you was her choice, not yours. She's legally obligated to care for you and your brother through the choices she made. She voluntarily signed up for those responsibilities. It's time she made good on them. Forcing your brother on you is crap. Not your job. Not your kid. Sweetie, you're an adult now. Get a job and move out. Wow, that's so simple in this day and age. As someone who's 22 living with her parents, this is a ridiculous take. No young adult without a degree is able to afford any kind of housing. I make a little above minimum wage, working decent hours, and it's laughable to think that I could afford rent. Now imagine those working part-time on minimum wage. If you can't afford your own place, then you do what you can to help the person actually footing the bill. Babysitting so mom can work and pay the bills is not a big ask, and doing your part of the household chores is not helping. It's doing what you're supposed to do. And guy, 29 male, have been going to the same gym for the past 10 years. There are a number of trainers that appear to work exclusively with people that have special needs, both physically and mentally. They work in one-to-one sessions, trainers showing them how to use each machine safely and putting together an exercise program for them. And they're also often accompanied by a guardian. I want to say straight away that I have zero issues with this at all. I love going to the gym, and it's great to see others enjoying it too. As long as everyone is working out in a safe way, everything is fine. I've seen what I would call a few near misses with weights being dropped close to others or machines being used improperly, but I've never seen anyone be seriously hurt. So today I entered the gym and walked past her before. She was with a guy that I'd seen a few times before. I'm not sure what his condition is, so I apologize if any of the following sounds offensive. I don't intend for it to. I'm just explaining what happened. As I walked past, he was loudly counting the number of reps he was doing on the leg press. I continued over to the dumbbells, got set up at a bench, and started my workout. After a couple of sets, the guy came over and stood just next to my bench about a meter away from me, just staring at me. His trainer was still over at the leg press on her phone. It was a little awkward with him standing there, but he wasn't in my way, so I don't say anything. As soon as I pick up the weight from the bench, he sits down on the bench. As I noticed what he was doing, I just said, "I'm using that bench, mate." But he proceeds to start doing sit-ups, and again, loudly counts them out. So this guy is lying back on my towel, wallet, and phone. I repeat again, "Mate, I'm using this one," as I put down the weights and try to pull my belongings out from under his sweaty back. I guess hearing the counting, the trainer notices what happened and came over and apologizes. I just give a nod but don't say anything. I wasn't exactly impressed that she wasn't keeping a better eye on him. I moved a few benches over and thought that was the end of it. Next, I was on the bench press, so holding a large amount of weight over my chest. The guy comes over again and stands right next to the bench in line to my face, right where I need to put the weights back on the rack, just staring down at me. And I said calmly, "You need to move, mate. I need to put the weight down." He just stared at me, half smiling. I asked him twice more and he just continued staring, not a single sign that he'd understood or even heard me. So I called out loudly for help. Luckily, the trainer heard, again coming over to apologize and pull him out of the way. I put the weight back and then said to her that she needs to keep an eye on him because he's going to end up getting himself seriously hurt. Some time passes without incident. They're on the other side of the gym, and I'm on one of the cable machines doing tricep pushdowns. I get to my last rep of my last set, and just as I push down 110 pounds of metal raised in the air, from out of nowhere, this guy lets out a huge scream and lunges at the raised weight stack in front of me. Now, this is what went through my head in the moment. I'm on my last rep, so I probably had about 2 seconds that I could hold the weight before my muscles failed and the weight came crashing down. With that weight, there was a good chance that he would be seriously injured, lost, crushed finger, broken hand or arm, etc. I knew that my last attempts of speaking calmly had yielded zero response from him, and I didn't have time to call for his negligent trainer to come and help. I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Get away from it." The guy jumped back like he'd had the fright of his life. I lowered the weights and immediately turned around, enraged and looking for the trainer. Well, she was already on the way over, no doubt, because she'd heard me yell, "What the heck are you doing? Did you see what he just did?" I ask as the guy starts loudly crying. She comes over and asks why I would yell at him since he doesn't know any better. I again asked if she'd seen what happened and that he was almost seriously hurt. And yeah, he didn't know better, which is exactly why she should have been there to watch him. I guess the guy's guardian Maybe his mother, unsure, had heard everything as well. She came in and the trainer immediately tells her that I yelled at him for standing too close. I tried explaining that he was almost seriously hurt and that he wasn't being supervised properly. We went back and forth, but both the trainer and guardian were not satisfied with my explanation, calling me an idiot for raising my voice to him like that. Next thing I know, they've called one of the other trainers from the gym, who told me to leave, and that they'd be suspending my membership before I was able to explain to him my side of the story. I'm planning to speak to the manager or another trainer tomorrow, and I'm hoping that it was captured clearly enough on CCTV that I can get my membership back. Am I the idiot for yelling at a person with special needs? I know it sounds bad, but with everything else, I don't really think I had any other option. Not the idiot. Your reaction was instinctive in a potentially dangerous situation. The trainer's negligence was the issue. Explain your side to the manager. I'm curious, how often was his trainer slowing coming over because she was on her phone every time? Make sure the manager knows that part. I've never seen such an inattentive trainer, and shame on her, and I hope she loses her job. I have a special needs child, and if they got into a similar situation, I'd be very angry with the inattentive trainer, not with the poor person trying to do a workout. And talk to the manager and insist on viewing the CCTV. Trust me, in the long term, the person's guardian will be glad to know the trainer is bad so they can protect their child. You are the idiot for yelling at the fellow and not the person responsible for him. I mean, why not just stay away from places like that? You don't need to train where it's dangerous. And if they're such ignorant idiots that can't look at a video, you might just not want to go back there. Update. I went by the gym this morning and asked to speak to a manager about what happened yesterday. They agreed to see me. I explained everything and asked if they could review the CCTV to see what actually happened and possibly reinstate my membership. I said that I believe the trainer yesterday had misrepresented what happened, as a lot of you pointed out, to hide the fact that she was not neglecting the guy she was meant to be supervising. Surprisingly, he said that this wasn't the first time they'd received complaints about that trainer. He said she'd only been there 2 weeks and has already had a complaint from both a client and another trainer from the gym, though he didn't go into detail about what those complaints were. He said to leave it with him and he'd get back to me. About an hour ago, I got a call from the manager saying he'd reviewed the footage and it was consistent with my story. The first 2 interactions I had with him, with the dumbbells and on the bench press, were clear in the footage. The third time was apparently obscured by some other equipment, but he said it was enough to see the guy approach me from behind, without the trainer, and he was willing to take my word about what happened next. My gym membership has been reinstated, and they've given me the next 2 months free. I think I'll be putting that money I saved towards a nice bottle of whiskey. He also said not to worry about the trainer. She won't be around anymore, so I think it's safe to assume she lost her job. Hopefully this is a wake-up call for her and she won't be putting anyone else in harm's way in the future. Thank you all again for the support and advice. My father died when I was a tween and my older brother was a teen. He was practically a boy when my mother went into a depression that affected her for years. My brother stepped in and took care of us. He helped out around the house and helped me with school while my mother was getting treatment. He basically became my father figure. I didn't want him to grow up so fast, but I was a little girl who'd just been orphaned. I wouldn't be able to do much. Time skip. Now I'm 26 and my brother is 31. My mother got better years later and met a guy named who seems really nice, but he can't have children biologically. That's why his wife separated from him years ago. The problem is, I'm getting married in 2 months, and my stepfather insisted on walking me down the aisle because it would be the only chance he could do something like that. But I really want it to be my brother because no one deserves this more than him. Now, half of my family is on my side, and the other half said that I should go with my stepfather because my brother would look aesthetically weird next to me since we're close in age. What do? Tell everyone to go screw themselves. Lose the chance to go with my brother. I don't know how to talk to my mother because she's not so mentally stable anymore. Possible relevant info: mom 51, stepdad 55, and they've been together since I was 20. Not the idea. The weirdness of telling an adult that you didn't even know as a kid that you want to be a centerpiece of their wedding day is, well, weird. Really weird. Like, you've known this dude for a few years. That would be aesthetically weird. This is just some weird boundary stomping. I've taken your thoughts and feelings into consideration. I will be continuing with having my brother, who acted as a father to me in my formative years, walk me down the aisle. I look forward to enjoying the day and consider this conversation closed and then shut it down. Anytime it's brought up, hand up, walk away, or don't respond to the text, because this is just weird behavior. Aesthetically weird. I mean, come on. I've been to dozens of weddings and like maybe 10 or 20 of them had the dad walk the bride down the aisle. I've seen the father-in-law, steps, cousins, BFFs, alone moms, grandmas, grandpas, people in costume. Their kids. Like, come on. It's your wedding. Do what you want. People need to find their own business to be in. Your brother sounds amazing. Your brother has been your father figure since you were 12. He deserves the honor of walking you down the aisle. Tell the rest of the family that your brother put in the time and hard work of raising you. Your stepfather did not. Congrats and best wishes on the wedding.